Hey guys, welcome back to the Turnbuckle Tavern's YouTube page. We're back at you with another video today. And before we get into that, make sure you go on to the link below, follow the link below. Also smash that subscribe button for us and follow us for any more information.
Yeah, click that bell so when we're uploading a video, you guys can check it out, talk shit about it in the comments below, trash us, smash us, do everything you want. As long as you're interacting, we don't care.
Isn't it kind of interesting that it's click the bell? I mean, it's kind of
yeah, it's fitting.
No pun intended.
Right.
Maybe it is though. So in this video, we're going to get into what is next for Cody after he got demolished last night by Mr. Brodie Lee.
Yeah. I feel like the guy's going to be out for a while. I mean, he took a beating. He didn't get any offense in. He was stretchered out and then dumped out and hit with that bag, whatever they had in that black bag. It almost looked like the velvet bags that they always pull out with the thumbtacks in it. But
yeah,
it looked like it had a little weight in it.
They had the plate from the
oh, that's what it was. It was the broken belt was in there.
Yeah, it was Little Ruth's front plate.
Right.
That got smashed over his head.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I totally blanked on that.
Yep. And yeah, I mean nobody in the Nightmare family got a piece of offense in. Nobody.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, he was left pretty much for dead. And so what's next for him? Where does he go? I mean, he's not going to be there. He cannot be there next week.
No. And I think I may have seen on their social media somewhere that they'll have an update on his condition. So okay. It looks like he's not going to be on Dynamite this Thursday. I mean, like, does he come back in a feud with Brodie? Does he show up a couple weeks from now and attack Brodie and continue this storyline, or do we push him into something else? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, here's what I think, and I know that the wrestling community, everybody's saying that this is going to be a classic fight for your family, revenge. He's going to come back and be, just ready to not let this happen again and avenge his family.
Right.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No?
I do not think this is going to happen.
What do you think is going to happen?
I think this is where Cody turns his back and becomes heel Cody.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
How do you see this playing out?
Well, I see it playing out as, I know we've talked in our last video about Cardona being in a feud with Brodie to avenge his friend. I think that Cardona not being there last night I think Cody's gonna turn on and for none of them having his back, and specifically focus on Cardona not having his back as supposedly supposed to be his best friend.
Now, do you think this is something that plays out building to the pay-per-view in the fall, Full Gear, or?
Yeah.
So you think
it's definitely not for All Out. This is going to take more time to build, but it's not going to be for All Out.
Now, do you think this is a slow kind of reveal, or does he come back from injury and stakes his claim as a heel?
Well, I think he comes back. I think when he comes back, there's going to be a couple of weeks where something's off just a little bit.
Something's bothering him.
Something's bothering him. He doesn't come back and immediately do it, but there's going to be something that he's been thinking about since he's been gone.
Because, right, I mean, if he comes back and he goes straight into avenge my family, avenge my loss, and he pretty much sets the Dark Order in his sights, not to say that's cliche, but that is definitely
Cliche.
expected. Yeah, it's what we think would happen. So if they were to go and book like you say, that would be kind of a turn. But I guess my question to you would be, is that turning someone heel is a commitment, especially when it's a long-term commitment, especially with someone so beloved as a Cody Rhodes. So do you think this moment justifies that long-term commitment of, okay, he's no longer a baby, we're going to commit to him for the next year or two of being a bad guy? Because the one thing people have bitched, and I know we have complained with WWE, is this flip-flop, baby. These quick flip-flops of he's a good guy, he's a bad guy, and it kind of takes the steam out of someone. I mean, just look at the Big Show's career. The guy's flip-flop so much, no one cares anymore. So we know that AEW wants to try and stay away from making those same mistakes. So do you feel like, having said that, knowing that AEW, when they turn someone, they're probably going to stick with that for a while, do you think this justifies that turn?
I do. And I think that with him being a heel, if they turn him heel, then I think that this is just a scenario, not saying this is going to happen, but say MJF wins the title, say Cody turns heel, they rekindle this friendship, and then they can go on I think they could be a great heel team, heel friendship team together for a while, and then that gives them the option to turn Cody back face. If MJF just continues to be the prick that he is.
So you're seeing a reconnecting of Cody and MJF possibly.
Yep.
That would be interesting, especially after he whipped his ass with that belt.
Yep. Because I think that this gives, because I think inevitably, eventually, we're going to see MJF with the title. Yeah. And I think because there's a stipulation in there where Cody cannot face him again.
Right.
So I think if he wins the championship, I think that's a way for them to break that clause in a storyline where he is able to face MJF for the championship, and that could be when he turns himself back face.
Okay, man, you talk about getting hot, getting the crowd hot and getting some heat on Cody. If you have him align himself back with MJF after everything MJF did to him.
Yep. Ooh. But that's that good heat. I think that would be real heat that they could draw for that.
Absolutely.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my only thing, I'm always very hesitant to turn someone unless it all makes sense. And I think, I'm just wondering, like, what you have your top baby face, when is the right time? And you may be right. Maybe this is an opportune time to turn him. And you never know what's around the corner. I guess I'm always like, well, maybe he gets into another feud. Like, do you want the turn happening with Cardona? Or do you want Cardona to turn? And I think that combination, that storyline of them two, I think would be great for one of them to turn. I don't think I've made my mind up on who would be the better heel.
It's definitely been tough for me thinking who should be because one of them I think should be a heel, obviously. And
I think Cody's been a heel before, so we know. So the allure of seeing Cardona as a heel makes me kind of lean that way because it's something we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing Cody turn and seeing Cardona kind of step into that top babyface role in the company also has a lure to it. So I'm very torn on that situation.
Yeah, and I understand, and I get it too. Like what I said is just what I think could possibly happen, and I think for me, I enjoy the thought of a top babyface turning heel.
Oh, I do too.
I just think that for me, that makes me pop more than anything.
Have we had that yet in AEW?
No.
Have we had that shocking turn? I mean, we had MJF nutshot Cody, but we all saw that coming.
That was
telegraphed. We knew.
Yeah.
We were waiting for it. We all knew. But I'm waiting for that like shocking, I can't believe he did that moment.
Yeah. We haven't had that with anybody.
No.
And what bigger person to do that than Cody?
Right. And they've been dipping their toe in the water of a turn with Kenny.
Yeah.
But the Omega turn is also kind of being telegraphed a little bit.
Yep.
You're seeing a bad side.
I want something that gives the whoa.
Yeah, no telegraphing. Just complete, like didn't see it coming. And then the explanation comes after rather than seeing them slowly lean into being a bad guy.
Right. Yeah. And of course, completely fantasy booking, but that's just, for me, I want to see that. I want that moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want that Bash at the Beach Hogan leg drop moment.
Right.
I want the trash being thrown in the ring.
Yeah. And if you're
I don't know, but
if you're going to get some people pissed, turn Cody in the right way. If it's done right, it's going to really get some people upset.
Yeah. Where do you see it going? I know we kind of got off on that tangent, but where do you see it
with Cody?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's hard to say for me because I think they could milk this injury. There's a couple different options. They could milk this injury and have him set out a while and give him a break and bring some of the other talent up into Dynamite and let them get some time as he's kind of selling this injury. They could also have him come right back within a couple weeks and have him go right back into a revenge angle with Brodie Lee, which I think is kind of the expected thing to happen, but it's not the most exciting thing.
Right.
There's that curveball option that you're kind of talking about where something happens that throws him into a different feud. And that's what's kind of hard to see right now is what's the move if he doesn't go right back into Brodie Lee? What is the choice that moves him into a feud with someone else? And I do think like a Cardona feud, I don't know how they would get to that, but that would be, I mean, that's printing money. That's a big feud. And it would get Cardona. I think that's a great way, throwing him in a feud with one of AEW's top guys, top baby faces. That's a way to elevate him to some of the audience that still sees him as just Zack Ryder.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It would. And that's the thing. Whatever happens with Cody, I think it has to be big. I don't think they can't do it where it's just, okay, have your rematch with Brodie.
Right.
Have your rematch. He took a beating.
Yeah.
Things aren't going to be the same after that.
No.
That's not something you just come back from and you're like, I'm back. I was hurt.
Right.
Yeah, that was so brutal that it's going to change him.
Yeah, it should. It should change him.
Somehow.
It should change him as a performer. Either give him a mean streak, or maybe he comes back a shell of himself and has to build himself back up.
Yeah.
How does the Nightmare family react to this? Do they rally behind him? Do they, there's so many variables. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes, especially with All Out kind of looming on the horizon.
Can you imagine a Dark Order versus Nightmare family at All Out, and Cody's not involved because he's hurt, but he comes out
and turns? Yeah. Like you throw Cardona, QT, Dustin, and is there a fourth member of the Nightmare family we could throw in there? Or would it be a 6-man?
I would say it'd probably be a 6-man.
So maybe Cardona, Dustin, QT against Brodie, Uno, and Stu Grayson.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine it would be.
And then they're working over those guys. Their Dark Order's coming out, and then all of a sudden Cody returns, puts Cardona in a crossroads.
Yeah.
That would be insane. Then you're leaving All Out with this question: has Cody joined the Dark Order? But he hasn't. He's not aligning himself. He's just kind of going out on his own. We only got a couple weeks to find out what they're going to do.
I mean, they don't really have to plan much of. I mean, if they're going to do it that way, there's not a lot of planning they have to do.
No, all they have to do is set up the Nightmare Family Dark Order match, and then
which was already set up yesterday.
Yeah, by all the guys being laid
out.
Setup.
Yeah, everybody's laid out. Next week, the Nightmare Family comes out, issues the challenge. The next week, they have a brawl as the go home, and then they have the match it All Out.
Hell, if you wanted to, you could make it a mixed 8-man and throw Anna Jay on one side and Brandy on the other side.
Yeah. Yep.
Because they've even worked to that. But yeah, you guys, you have anything else or?
No, that's all I have. That's just, if I had the pencil, and I think that I'm more excited to see what happens with this now that Cody just got ran over.
Oh, me too. It instantly shakes up the division. But if you guys tell us what you guys think in the comments below, what do you think is going to happen with Cody? Do you think he could turn heel in all this? Do you think he goes back against Brodie? Like, let us know your thoughts. Again, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and
yep.
We'll see you guys.
See you guys soon.
See you soon.